MyDoma Studio is your complete designer toolkit. You know this, right? MyDoma makes it easy to streamline your processes, track your projects, communicate with clients, and just get organized. It is created by designers for designers, specifically to address what you need as a design business owner. MyDoma is now together with Studio Designer, and they are the industry-leading solution. With 20,000 plus users, more designers choose their platform than any other. Are you ready to reach the next level of profitability and efficiency? Book a demo with MyDoma Studio today by going to mydomastudio.com/Luann. That's mydomastudio.com/Luann. Welcome to A Well-Designed Business. My name is Luann Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company WindowWorks from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. Now, we have done several episodes on AI already, and like most of you, I've been experimenting it myself. But what interested me about today's conversation is that we are going to talk about not AI in conjunction with your creativity and how to work it, in making that process better. We're talking about AI and how it can reduce the operational friction inside your business. Because the reality is most of us are still spending an enormous amount of time manually moving information from one place to another, from email to ClickUp, from meeting notes to invoices, from Dropbox to proposals, from one conversation to another conversation with one team member to another. And honestly, I don't think most of us even realize how much time and mental energy that actually takes until somebody points it out. Well, my guests today are Perez and Zach Keenan, co-founders of Aupra, an AI automation company built specifically for the interior design and build industry. And it's spelled AUPRA. These two guys are longtime friends turned business partners who saw an opportunity to help creative firms use AI in a more practical and more operational way. Not to design for you, not to replace your thinking, but to help automate the repetitive administrative tasks that slow us down and create that bottleneck. And I'll tell you, this conversation definitely stretched the way I've been thinking about AI and for how it might actually become more useful inside my business as well. Now, before we get to the conversation, I want to thank our sponsor, June Laloy. June Loy, you're already familiar with them. They've been in the trade business for more than 20 years with a focus on personalized service and great design. June Loy comes from the same family and builds on that expertise, but expands into total home furnishings. Everything from furniture and rugs to lighting and wall art, all curated with quality and value in mind. They also have some really great collaborations with industry favorites like Drew Michael Scott of Lone Fox. And if you're a trade member, you get access to exclusive pricing and dedicated service, which makes the whole process super easy. You can learn more and apply for your trade account at juneloloy.com/trade. That's JOONLOLOI.com/trade. Okay, let's meet Zach Perez and Zach Keenan. Hey guys, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. So nice to have you here today.
Thanks, Luann. My name's Zach Keenan.
Now I'm Zach Perez, and thanks for having us on.
Yeah, so I'm super excited. We're going to talk about AI today. I'm just going to let everybody know that, we've got Zach and Zach. And so Zach Keenan often goes by Keenan since we've got two CEO founders with the same name. So for the rest of the episode, we're going to call you Keenan. I'm looking forward to this because what I'm understanding is that you guys are specializing in AI, helping specifically interior design firms. And Keenan, you described that it's not the creative side. Tell us where your specialty lies with AI in relation to creative firms.
Yeah. So we kind of take the philosophy that like as interior designers and especially as creatives, like we don't want AI doing that work. That's the work that, you guys ideally love to do. So we want to focus on the administrative, like tedious tasks. And what we do is we basically speak with interior designers and ask them like what's the most time consuming, tedious manual processes that they do in their business, and then we reflect that into an automated state by having AI do that instead. So ideally, if we can reduce the amount of time spent doing that, you can focus on the things you actually enjoy doing or that make the business more money.
Okay. And the thing is that I understand it's it's not just simply the use of AI, which many of us are doing and are taking advantage of. It's the agentic AI. Tell
Mm-hmm.
me, I know enough to be dangerous, and I think I understand what agentic AI is, but not enough to declare it on a podcast. So tell
Yeah.
us what that means.
Yeah, I think to sum it up the best, when you look at AI and using like Claude and ChatGPT tools like that, that's just one piece of AI. When it goes from AI to agentic and an agentic system, you give AI the capability to take action by giving it tools and giving AI the ability to use tools. For example, spreadsheets or your project management software, and allowing AI to now act on your behalf, but not only act by using those tools, but also remember what it did and then do it again and again and again. So
Okay, so if I think about the way I use I would say it's funny because a minute ago I thought that I had my first successful AI automation agentic experience this weekend, but now I'm wondering if I didn't because here's the thing: I got in Claude. I got it to take two actions without being prompted for like a giving it when you do this automatically do that. And it did it. But what I'm hearing is if I had gotten it to do a thing and go into my drive and get it and come back, that would actually be a true agentic AI, right?
yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
because I'm
not even.
feeding it everything,
Yeah.
right?
So you're feeding it, right? But you're also telling it what to do, right? You're
Mm,
telling it to go do something.
yeah.
What if it's triggered by some other thing? What if it's triggered by an action that happens from another tool, right? And maybe that triggers you to now, instead of having to upload those documents, it just then pulls the documents and then does what you want it to do, right? And
Okay.
and that's like kind of how
That's
it gets even
almost
more.
incomprehensible to me, even though I've been using AI for 4.5
Yeah.
years at this
I
point.
mean,
Yeah.
to
Like,
give
so
a good
go ahead. Go, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. To give a good example
Yeah.
of this would be, um, let's say a let's say a company, or let's say an employee emails you about your uh, like code of conduct in your business. Let's say this is a very random example, but if an employee emails you and the agent already has access to those documents of your entire code of conduct in your business, now the agent will just respond to that person. So instead of you having to take their question, upload your documents, and ask for, okay, what's the answer based off of our code of conduct, it just goes and responds to them instantly instead. And
Oh,
yeah, if that makes sense.
it does make sense, but that sounds very scary. Like, where is my human oversight in that?
Yeah.
Do I not need it? Or, I mean, I know we in general need human oversight. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, off our off air conversation, we discussed that a lot already, and we'll bring that into it. But, like, I guess so when we talk about AI doing multiple things. So like in this world, interior design world, you are enabling designers to the way your process works is a designer comes to you and they say the thing that drives them to drink, like this thing I have to do every darn week and it takes so long and it makes me crazy and I'm sick and tired of doing it, right? And then you two kind of figure it out and you realize, in order for that designer to do a thing, she has to go into Asana and she has to go into her Excel spreadsheet and she has to go into her email and she has to go into her QuickBooks. And you figure out a way to make all of those steps happen, click, 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 click. But aren't we also at some point like what's the barometer for, and it just takes it to completion and you don't look at it versus it takes it to completion and you look at it before it goes out? How do you guys figure that out?
Yeah, it's up to you. So it's up to you, and it's up to us to say, okay, for basically all emails, by the way, we always require what we call like human in the loop, and that kind of that review process of, we don't want the email going out. So that example I gave, ideally you'd get a message that says, hey, we went through, found all this stuff. Do you want us to send it? Do you want the agent not to send it? And then you say yes,
so
no.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So in other words, while I'm out on a project site, you could have my email set up to answer as many questions. If I come back and I have 20 emails, but they haven't been sent, I can read them, tweak them, say, that I don't want that answer regarding our code of conduct. Thank you very much. Right? Like, but then I'm just going click, 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 send. And I come back and in 20 minutes, maybe I've answered 20 emails, as opposed to like me, I don't even do my own email anymore because I can't. I go in and I look at email and, I don't know, it's Monday morning and next thing I know, it's Friday and I haven't eaten, I haven't peed, I haven't dressed, I haven't brushed my teeth, and I'm still in the damn email. So I'm like, no girl, no emails for you. So, so it's like, if I could have that, now I'm just yes knowing, right? And I'm not now, does it give it to me in my inbox or does it give it to me?
Yeah, it can create a draft directly in your Gmail, Outlook, whatever platform.
I would probably still have Mariali take it out and put it in a Word document because it's just dangerous for me to go into email.
Yeah, I mean, you can have it come to you in any way. So for a lot of people we work with, it's usually through some sort of chat interface. So we try and make everything seem like you're texting an employee and an agent. So maybe you'd get the email and the review step in a chat, right? Like, like it's a text message. So the agent texts you and says, hey, do you want me to send this email? And then you can see it. Maybe it's not even in your email yet. It just depends on how we build it. But
okay. That's very interesting. I'm telling you, I tell everybody all the time, if you don't hear from me, it doesn't mean it's a no, a yes. It just means I might not have seen it because I can't. My husband, he's like, I emailed you last week. I'm like, you live with me. Speak to me. Like, stop. Okay. All right. So, So give me some examples in the design firms that you've worked with on problems that you've solved for them, knee-deep weeds in their business. What's some of those things?
Yeah. So our first client is a great example of this. She had an issue with time capturing, and she's a solo designer. So she's managing everything herself. And so her issue was she would, go to site visits and spend 3-4 hours with the client and then leave and forget about sitting down and entering that all into her accounting software at the end of the day. And so stuff would build up. She would just lose out on some revenue. And that was an issue for her. It was a big pain point. And so the system that we created for her was all she needed to do was grab her phone, pretend she's sending a voice memo, or she could even type it as well, and say, hey, I just worked with my client, Sarah Johnson, where we spent 4 hours going over the kitchen remodel and construction documents. And from there, once she sends that off, it'll go directly into her accounting software and create an invoice with the client name, the billable hourly rate, and the entire description of what she said. And it would be pasted right there, and she could just send it off after review. So very simple, saves her a ton of time, and also captures a little bit more revenue as well.
And so what you're talking about is, like you said it, after review, and you use the other human in the loop. I like that phrase. That's a good phrase, you guys. So what you're saying is maybe she's 3 hours on one project. She stops at a vendor or a trade showroom for another project. Then she stops at the end of the day at a site visit for, a carpenter who's throwing a hissy fit about the crown molding. And she's now leaving each job, leaving these messages. And when she gets back to the office, if she's been to 3 projects that are billable, she's got 3 invoices ready for her review. And she's just saying, yep, I said 3 hours on that. That's the billable rate. This is what we did. Bang, bang, send. Instead of now maybe taking almost an hour, hour and a half at the end of a busy day to type it all in, right?
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
Okay. So that's really valuable, especially for small teams, right? And you found that her result was that she was not like leaving money on the table. She wasn't just like, I forgot to bill that one. Now it's 3 weeks later. It feels funny to send the invoice, which, by the way, send the invoice. That's my advice. Send it.
Yeah.
It's like there's no expiration on the money.
Yeah,
but I
exactly.
hear you. Okay. So that's an interesting thing. And that's like a custom process because maybe she uses QuickBooks or she uses Excel spreadsheets or she uses whatever, but you're going to go in and connect it to what Keenan was saying earlier, the tools that she uses.
Yeah, everything is specific to who we're working with. So whatever their tool stack looks like, as long as we're able to integrate it, we build a system around those exact tools, and we don't we want to make it as convenient and as easy for them to use as possible. So that's why we enjoy working with their tools.
Okay. Is something like if you finish something, like I guess what I'm just trying to think about, like our workflows. We've got 4 people that primarily work in the business every day, 4 people in all different parts of the world and the country, and we use ClickUp. So like, we'll be like, okay, Lou is done. Lou to review, blah, blah, blah. Like right now, if I do something in Dropbox, I have to then go to ClickUp and tell them I did a thing. But could it be that I'm like, anytime I dump an intro, outro into Dropbox, you go tell ClickUp and find that exact task and mark it done?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and any tasks within ClickUp, any tasks within other tools that communicate with ClickUp, and let's say you upload a file to your Dropbox, right? And maybe that's the first entry point. But then information in that document or file needs to go into a specific project section in your ClickUp, and that needs to be drafted and organized. It can do that automatically. And then that's how we start going from tool to tool rather than just like you speaking into your phone and saying, we use ClickUp, by the way, too. Just instead of speaking into your phone and saying like, hey, add this note to this person that we just had a discovery call with and, change their status, right? Or move their task to this folder instead. And it does that too. So you can go singular tool or both tools.
That's crazy. I can't even fathom that right now. Okay. All right. So now give me another real life example of something that a designer came to you with a problem and then you solved it for them.
Yeah.
For the firm we're consulting with right now, one of their big problems was creating cover sheets for their financial packages. They wanted it to be branded. So it's a very specific and like kind of like niche problem. But they wanted like branded cover sheets and they wanted it a specific way. And so we literally created an automation where it would take the cover sheet that they already had and they would spend like 20 minutes. Their team would spend 20 minutes just drawing it out and creating it. But now because there's a template, we can have AI generate that exact cover sheet for that financial package, saving them 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So tell me why, in other words, I know, like I said, I know enough to be dangerous. So it seems to me there's a cover sheet. It lives in Word docs or it lives in Canva. Like, cover sheets for most of us are a Word doc. For designers, they're Canva docs. Like, let's be serious. They have to have flowers on it and leaves and, they'd be pretty and all the crap. It's amazing what they do. It really is. Gosh.
admire the tenacity to make things that pretty for every step of the way. It's like, but it's what they do. So why is that not just a Canva cover sheet that somebody is populating the financial numbers into? What's different about what you were just saying, Zach, about that? I don't think I got the nuance.
Well, I think it's case dependent. So they didn't use Canva, and the nuance about it is that was their exact process. So they wouldn't have like a templatized version where they could just populate it every single time. Maybe it's a systems error, but I think
So another thing is it's also pulling the data from where it already is in a tool. So that's the big gap.
That's the thing.
So
that's the thing.
Let's say you needed to create a document with that was branded, client facing, with all the information that's in a specific project task. So let's say you have a project, and in that project you have your renderings, you have your all your notes and your spec sheets and everything that you've done for a project from start to finish. What if you just wanted a final branded wrap up, like at the end of the project when it's done, instead of you having to go through your project management tool, copy paste, type it all out, format it all, you just have it go and build that branded document for you instead. Wow. And then that's the power of it. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is, if a designer sends a proposal out the same way every time, that might be templated, but the designer is now going to their notes and saying, I told them $45,000 design fee. I told them a furnishing budget of $250,000 to $300,000. I told them to expect project fulfillment hours to be 50 additional hours, blah, blah, blah. What you're saying is, right now, they're finding all of those notes, but you could say in that AI automation, this information will be in the Google Drive or be here, and it will pull it all and populate it.
Mm-hmm.
That's bonkers.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah.
That's crazy pants. Yeah. That's literally crazy pants right there. That really is crazy pants. And you got to read it. You got to make sure it's right? Like,
of course.
Like you could have Sally Smith and Smith, Parker, right? And it's got to make sure it finds the right person, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But again, you wouldn't have anybody in your company produce any document like this and send it to a client without looking at it anyway.
Of course.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care if you have 40 people working for you. Like, you might not be the one that does oversight, but there is oversight built in, whether you're a company of 3 or a company of 30. There's middle management built into that 30. And so somebody is always giving the final, yes, this is good to go.
Exactly. Yeah. There always still needs to be that oversight. I mean, exactly. And I think it's just the fact that it can be done almost instantly. Like it can be done so quickly that's the best part. Even just getting we can integrate with Canva. And if you can integrate with Canva, you can have that text auto populated on your sheets. If you still need to edit, do some final review and stuff like that, and that's a lot better than having to do 100% of it from scratch. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Working from something is so much faster and easier than working from nothing. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. Other examples of problems that you've solved? Because I feel like this is the only way to really try and understand what you're capable of, knowing that it sounds like we just have to tell you what our problem is and you'll fix it. But what are some of the ones that you've already helped designers with beyond these couple?
Yeah. I mean, access to information is a big one. Zach, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of designers have a bunch of different files stored everywhere among maybe their local drive, their Google Drive, personal places, and it can get very cluttered very fast. And finding very specific project information can get really just complicated. So one thing that AI does great is being able to parse large documents and look through drives and folders and retrieve all that information in a second. So if you were to ask, hey, where's that receipt for this sofa that we bought from Project X? you could type that into a chatbot, into a curated chatbot, and say that exact thing, and then it'll go search through all the information that you've given it, and ideally it has that receipt in it, and then it'll go take that receipt and show you right away. So it's just access to information instantly is huge, and especially in correspondence as well. When you need to get information to someone quickly, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. I'm thinking about the WindowWorks workflow when we work with interior designers. So one of my pet peeves, so for every designer that works with WindowWorks, listen up. One of my pet peeves is that a designer will drip information email by email by email. And, I might get a document at the beginning of the project that says this project is going to be 10 Roman shades, all outside mount. 3 are motorized, 3 are cordless, and it's 4 pairs of draperies and blah, 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 right? And install it all draperies under crown, blah, blah, blah. And now the project gets going. We give them some numbers that they can throw around and build their budget with. All great. We're not in final. We're fine. And then, as the project goes along, it's like now the field measure comes. And now we're not installing it all at the crown. We're going to put them just 4 inches above the window molding because now the designer has seen the real space and is walking through and blah, blah, blah. And now I'm going to change my notes. Okay. But I'm going to tell you what, I've had more than one time a designer create a PO based on wrong information. So whether it's a junior in the firm that is going off the original document from September that says all drapes under crown and all molding, all Romans outside mount, now in December we've measured and we've changed it. And so what happens is I have my notes that tell me one thing, but now I get the PO that goes back to the original. And I'm like, wait a minute. And because I'm paying attention, I know that it's wrong, but now I'm looking for documentation in emails and conversations that support what I say is the most recent information. And so that I can go to the designer and say, hey, most recent information says we're installing above crown. Your PO says under crown. Like, what's under above crown molding? Yours says under ceiling molding. And, often the designer, think about a designer's plate. This is one aspect of a 5, 6, 7,000 square foot. They're not just like, oh yeah, no problem. Do what you remember. They've got to go back now. You know what I'm saying? And so what you're saying is I could say to AI, search every email with Sally Smith that relates to windows and crown molding and give me I would want the story of it. December 1st, this was, September 1st, this was said, October 15th, December 5th, it was final revision. Do it this way.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And you can get that instantly. And honestly, there's added value to this. This is a big thing that's difficult to explain about AI, but what about the value that's not automatically obvious, which is, well, what if you just have an agent that can, before that purchase order's made, also fact check it? And so if that junior level designer, if that agent fact checks and it stops that purchase order from getting sent out the incorrect way.
On the designer side.
Yeah. Yes. And then the entire process, you have to redo it again because it was wrong the first time.
Yeah.
There's that level to the agents as well. That's super helpful.
Yeah. So, yeah. Because you know where this messes up, and listen to me, thank God it's very few designers that we interact with that have done this. But the thing that drives you crazy, the thing that is the worst thing ever, even if it only happened 5 times. But there've been times when a designer will come in, mid-project, we're all having conversations and meetings, and then here comes the email. Oh, meant to tell you in Sun's room, 2, we changed the fabric from this to this. And then an hour later, and also on the same project in this room, we're not doing, shutters, we're going to do wood blinds. And there was one day that this happened, and there were 4 or 5 emails in an hour and a half. I was ready to, I don't know how I didn't call the designer and literally ruin my reputation, because I was I'm going to literally like drive over there and like stab you in the eyebrows right now. like collect your thoughts, my friend, collect your thoughts. Because the thing is, you know, you're not getting one email, the next email, the next email. It's one email comes in at 12:05. I get 15 other emails, and at 12:08, your next email comes in, and then 10 more emails come in, and then at 12:14, your next email comes in. So it's begging me to miss something. It's literally this process of, you know, I call it brain clearing your project, is begging me to make a mistake. And then I'm going to deliver, and you're going to say, I told you on the email at 12:08 on December 3rd that we were changing that. Oh, sweetie, that's awesome. Right? But they did. And so there I am going, right. And why don't I just pay for this? So you're saying I can now have the AI just search all these and collate just, oh my God.
Yeah. And just talk to it like it was another employee or
Go
have
find
it
things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. And then when you get to the level of automation, if you were dealing with a designer that maybe their builder that they work with is unorganized like that, and maybe the designer is buttoned up, because listen, by and large, most of the designers that we work with are buttoned up, and thank God, right? But maybe they're getting bad information. Oh, we can't do the job on Tuesday. Oh, we can do it on Tuesday. Oh, well, we can't put the building, you know, the HVAC there. Oh, we can put the HVAC there. So the designer can do that. And then when you take that automation, they can then have you, like, when that information comes in, it goes populates in like the drive where that project lives for that room or something, right? So they're not now searching emails for all the updates. They can just say, what are all the updates that came in by email from this particular project?
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly. And two, also like project updates is a big one. I think using ClickUp in any sort of project management software, having to receive information, whether via an email or a team member told you something, and then now having to manually log that into a project management software. But if you got an email that gave you a project update, now the agent can just take that information and directly put it into your ClickUp or whatever project management software, whatever tool you want it to go to. So you can then, you don't even have to check. I mean, you probably should check your email, but you can just look in your project management.
Don't get me started on not checking emails. I'm
you're right.
Yeah,
Luann will never check. Luann won't check.
I am just fine with not going into emails.
But I mean, everything will be updated, and I think it's big to know that your project management software or whatever, however you're keeping track of a project, it's updated, because a lot of times when it's not, people can, chaos just happens. So
that's amazing. That's interesting. Is it the type of thing where, see, in my business, I don't do the email. I don't, because, I will start it on Monday morning and it'll be Friday afternoon. I will have not eaten. I will have not peed. I will have not showered. I'm not dressed. I will still be in the email, and it's just obnoxious, right? So I just learned several years ago, I'm like, stop, just don't. So what happens for me is Mariali will read all the emails, and she will take care of everything she doesn't need me for. And then the things that she needs me for, she literally copies and pastes them and puts them in a running Word document. And then it's a calendar appointment every day. Lou, look at emails. But she also knows I'm going to ignore that 3 days out of 5. I'm literally going to be like, I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm an old lady and I do what I want these days. So the thing is, what she knows is if something can't wait 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, she then has to Voxer me the email. She has to, Lou, this email came in, and she reads it to me, or she texts it to me, right? And then I give her the answer and she goes back. But are you saying that, not me, I'm still not going to do it, but Mariali could just at the beginning of every day say, pull all emails received in these inboxes, categorize them by listener email, sponsor email, your bullcrap, I'm selling Luann something email, pitches for the podcast, and it could organize it for her before she even organizes it for me?
Yeah. Every priority email, highest, lowest, mid-tier, what needs to get
keywords.
Urgent sent. Yeah.
How does it know what the priorities are and the urgents are? Just because the person said it was urgent? Because that's not the same for me and that person.
Yeah. This is when our work gets very complicated, and it's like that's why it's so custom, is there's a lot of collaboration with you to understand, like, okay, like let's make sure this is right, like let's make sure it's doing the highest priority. We've identified what makes something high priority versus doesn't, like with you and
So
your
that's
team.
part of your intake process when we
Yeah,
work with you. I
yeah,
would say to you, prioritize listener email, speaking engagement, new
hmm
updates. Like if somebody says, don't come at 2, come at 5, I need to know that, right? Like
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we would
yeah,
work through, and a designer would tell you the same thing,
yeah,
related to, you know, this job or that job or this, contractor or that contractor, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah.
exactly, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
And that, I mean, yeah, on that point of it's custom for everyone, because everything we build, we take them through that exact same collaboration process. It's we
Yeah.
have to define what the parameters are, what are the guardrails, what is data that you want in, and what is data you want left out. And so
Yeah.
that in of itself is a whole game. It's a whole
yeah,
game to
Yeah.
figure out. So
yeah.
Okay.
And no, yeah, I think it's just gone from, like, the technical side is already very confusing with AI. Like it's already overwhelming. There's so much going on, changing day to day. And the technical side is a lot, but what's the next step above that is how do you operate with AI in your business? And
Yeah.
that's where this collaboration process is so important, because you're going to work with AI in a different way that, someone else we work with is going to work with AI in their operations. And
Right.
yeah, it can't just be this simple one click thing. It can be after we've customized it to do it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that because it's kind of like the same process for an interior designer, right? It's like they can all day long design beautiful living rooms that are appropriate for any one person or multiple people. But when they do a project for a particular client, they're doing extensive intake, hopes, dreams, feelings, vibes,
mm-hmm.
colors, all of that, so that the living room that they would have, the same room that they would have designed for Sally, they're doing completely different for, Mary, because Mary wants different things than Sally. And it's the
Exactly.
same square footage, the same windows, the same fireplace, but the room is going to end up being different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Okay. Any other examples from the designers that you've worked with on a process or a system that you have improved for them?
I'm
Sourcing. If you want to go over sourcing, I think that's a very interesting
Oh,
one.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
oh,
Sourcing, and one of the biggest problems with that, it's not necessarily finding the thing in the item that you want to select, but it's getting the dimensions, the colors, the pricing, every different information from this vendor, and then organizing that into your own internal system, whether that's your own spec sheet, your own like project management tool, whatever it is. Once you understand that data can move back and forth, yeah, then it's like, hey, I like this, but I hate copy and pasting the dimensions and all the details of this information and of this product and putting it into my system.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just have AI do that instead.
Yeah.
okay. Okay. So we're okay. Just like gathering the information and putting it to the designer in the way he or she wants it.
Exactly.
We tell you what that is, and then you just write the code or whatever it's called to make it happen the way they want. Because someone might want visuals, someone might want whatever, but you work with them individually to figure out how they want their library
Yeah.
kept, essentially.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically.
Okay. And then I think when we were first talking, you were talking about a process that you developed for a designer who works out of state a lot.
Yeah.
What was
So
that one?
yeah, my sister, she's an interior designer, and this is how we kind of got into this space. And she was like our first case study. It was like, okay, hey Hallie, what's the most time consuming thing that you're doing and that you just wish you never had to do again? And she said it was like she works in state, or she's based in Tennessee, and she doesn't want to, like, when she gets a project that's out of state, she needs to find a general contractor and people to collaborate with on the build from one of her clients in that new location, because she doesn't have someone internally. So there was this big communication process that she had to do, where she would search people, find them, get bids from them, communicate, go over those emails. And it's very just this tedious, very systemized thing. It doesn't really require a lot of human in the loop for that necessarily, but it would just go find the general contractors and do an initial like email to them, get that information. And from there, you know how it could go. You can have it start responding. You can have it prioritize bids, who's better, who's worse, look at their website. And yeah, just expand.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, when I think about if I'm a designer and I live in one area, I'm going to do a job in another area, I know nobody in that area. Yeah, I need a GC. I might need, whatever. I might need a landscape architect. I might need, painters, whatever else I need. I need all the things around me, window treatment professional, right? And it's like what you're saying is the old way is, I start Googling, general contractors in, Boise, Idaho, window treatment retailers in Boise, Idaho. And now I'm in and out of their websites, how many star reviews do they have? What are their testimonials? How many years have they been in business? And I'm mentally having to look like, it's almost like dating. I'm going to pick 20 people and I'm going to pick, 5 to go on a date with, right? It's like going through all the crap and to figure out which 5 I want to send an email to. So it's not only your sister gave you all of the criteria for what she looks for when she, as a human, would go to Google and do the thing.
Yep.
So her criteria might be different than a different designer's criteria, right? Maybe she wants only people that have done, $2 million builds and above, or maybe she wants people that only do renos, right? So she gives you all of that. You build it in. But then she also gave you that initial email. Hi, I'm Hallie from XYZ firm. I may have a project in your area. Want to know if you're taking new projects on. And then the guy or girl says yes or no. And then it can say, great, here's the bid for proposal or blah, blah, blah. And she's just doing what she's doing while this is happening in the background with 5, 6, 7, 8 contractors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing more than just like tedious, annoying work that,
God.
now you just don't have to do it.
Yeah, because at some point she's going to get on the phone, right? Like there's no question. At some point she's going to do the human in the loop and talk to Bob and Sally and Bill and decide who she begins that initial collaboration process with. But yeah, I can see 4, 5, 6 steps of it that she doesn't need to be the one to do. Just give me, you could even end it with give me a report. You don't even have to end it with send them emails. Give me a report of the people, right?
Yeah. You could just do an analysis, full analysis of everyone.
Yeah. How do you know that it misses, if it doesn't miss that one great contractor? It's like, well, I guess is the answer. Well, if AI is going to miss it, you would have missed it on a Google search too, because they're not really searchable. Is they're not really that noticeable? Is that why?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, like, unfortunately, I feel like humans would miss it more likely, only because AI can now search Google, it can search PR, it can search all these different things at a mass quantity instantly that you would just never even spend the time looking at this publication's review on them. And
Interesting. Okay. All right. So I guess the biggest thing to take away from all of this is that this isn't you teaching us how to use AI. This is us saying, this is the thing driving me batty. Fix it. And then you build a custom solution. And if somebody just wants one piece customized with a solution, do one piece and go back to your day job, right? Or if somebody wants multiple operational activities, it just becomes a multifaceted. It's like you want to design one room, you want to design 5 rooms, right? It's like almost think of it like that. Like each operational thing that you design a custom solution for is like a room in a house. Like how many do you want done, right?
Exactly.
And then I gotta believe that, let's say 3/4 of it is, human proof once you build it, but you're still going to give us the training on the commands and the different things and blah, blah, blah. Right.
Yeah.
We're not just like left alone with a document and saying, figure it out.
That's another big point of our work, and just working with AI in general is having designers, let alone anyone, adopt the thing. Like
Yeah.
you can have the most perfect tool out there, but if no one uses it, then I mean, what good is it? So
Right.
I think that's big on us to create something that's very easy for you guys to use and that you guys are going to want to use, because
Yeah.
if the user experience is terrible and you just hate jumping on it, then that's a failure on us. So
Yeah.
but also teaching and showing designers, okay, this is how you use it, these are the commands that can be run, is another just I guess part of our work in that sense. So but adoption is a huge point.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess too, the thing of it is I'm curious. Your sister, Keenan, is a designer. So you solve the problem for her. And then it's like, oh, there's other things that we can do here. But have you had the same experience that I've had working side by side with designers all these years? It's an inordinate amount of details that they have to manage. Isn't it like just a little crazy? Don't you think?
Oh, it's a lot. Yeah. I mean, we're not from the industry, but there's a lot of small details. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you like have just a new deep respect
Oh, of
for what
course.
they do,
Of
right?
course.
Yeah. I think, I mean, before hopping in this industry, I would hear interior design and it's, oh, that's how, that's the sofa they bought. That's the color of the paint on the wall. But understanding sourcing, procurement, everything, installment, like it is crazy how many different working parts are inside just a single project, let alone multiple projects in an entire business. So it's super, super operationally intense, and it's really cool to pick apart.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have to say, like I always say, window treatments are ridiculously detailed and all of the things. And it's one aspect of what they manage. And it's remarkable. It really is. And it's funny because I don't think as a industry that really the designers in the industry cognitively understand how difficult their industry is. I think that individually they know their work is hard. I think individually they know that when they've done it right, it feels amazing. And when they've done it wrong, they kick themselves for not knowing or not doing or not completing. But I just can't imagine, I just can't imagine that, like doing this every single day and having that kind of responsibility and that kind of level of attention that it requires to do it well. And so anybody that comes along like the two of you, Keenan and Zach, and that can make their lives simpler, easier, and accurate, I'm all for it. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many processes, and we just want them to focus completely on the creative side. Client relationships, that's another big part of it too. But keeping them happy is huge, and whatever just makes their life easier. So that's our goal.
Awesome. So, okay, how do they reach you? What do they do? Is there like a query form, a discovery call? What's the process if somebody's like, I know the thing I want them to solve?
Yeah. So you could just visit our website. It's Aupra, but AUPRA.ai. And there's a lead form at the bottom, just an intake form. But we offer like a free hour of discovery for everyone. So usually broken up into 2 30-minute sessions. We give off live demos on those and just start, going over these ideas to at least start to think about AI and using AI. So yeah, I mean, mainly just go to our website, and you can email us too if you want.
Okay, we'll put all the links in the show notes. And I want to say that it occurs to me that I might be sitting here with a burning problem, right? That I'm like, that's it. I'm signing up for my, conversation, and I'm going to see if it's something you can solve. But even if I have that, it also occurs to me that, is it valid? Like, I almost feel like I would even do the discovery call if I'm just like, tell me what I don't know. Like what kinds of, like Luann and you talked about 4 or 5 ways that you've improved process and systems, but what else can you do for me? Like, I don't actually have to know what I need, right? You can share with us, individually on those calls, some of the problems that you solved, because maybe I'll just like, I'll take 2 of those right there too. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And through our discovery process, that's all it is. Like, you might think you have a certain problem in your head, but as soon as you start to to try to relay it to us and speak it to us, you might realize, oh, there's a lot more here than I originally expected. So just having the conversation about it is huge. And I know we've talked about a lot of different things today. But yeah, it's just taking the first step, learning AI a little bit, dabbling in it, but also just start being aware of the things that you can do about it as well.
Yeah. And I think the AI is just this big, like overwhelming new thing that's getting put in everyone's faces. Like we also just want to, like, we just help people learn and get up to date with it. Like if you want AI in your business and you want to focus on AI and kind of take that initiative, like you're just going to need someone too that can help like guide you through it, teach you how to just even use existing tools in the proper way. So that's teaching is a big point in helping.
I love that. One other thing I just want to ask, I was about to let you go. I have one other question. So for example, I have to say, whether it's the work that we do at Exciting Windows, which is where we coach and mentor window treatment professionals to be profitable, or through, the podcast where I do Power Talk Friday and we're coaching with designers on a more one-on-one level. One of the questions that I get a lot is, I just want one platform that does everything. And I'm always like, what are you doing? That's like having Italian food for the rest of your life every single night. Like sometimes you want Asian food and sometimes you want Mexican food. Like, what are you doing? Like, stop trying to think. And I will have people in knots. Oh, I tried Asana and I can't do this. And I tried ClickUp and I can't do that in it. And I tried Market Sharp and I can't do that in it. This almost sounds like the antidote to that. It's like, because maybe ClickUp is really good for your communication internally, but, I don't know, Asana is really good for your communication externally, or Mydoma Studio is really good for your communication with your contractors and your client. But internally, you like ClickUp. What you're saying now is not everything is interchangeable, but if it's interchangeable and a tool and you can create an automation to hop from one platform to another, that's what you really do. That's a different level of using AI.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the money line right there, right? Because I'm going to tell you, I must have had 50 people in the last 2 years say to me, I just want one platform that does everything. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what to tell you. That's like, I don't know, having one girlfriend, you know what I mean? Having one, like, the girlfriend you go and you party with, and the girlfriend you go like skiing with, and the girlfriend that you go shopping with. Like, what are we doing? They're not all the same girlfriend. It's like, we need multiple friends and we need multiple platforms, but this is really cool. If I am so that's a really good thing. If I'm out there and I'm using multiple things and they're all working for me, but I am still managing the human person moving things from place to place, you might be able to replace that activity for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's really the bottom line on this, isn't it?
Yeah. Basically,
once you start having your tools and your software is talking to each other, life gets a lot easier.
Yeah. It's like, one kid tells the other kid to go to bed and they all go. Like, that's great. Let's go.
And there's less mistakes too. Less mistakes.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Well, this has been fun. It's been very interesting. I am, like I said, I thought I did an Agentic thing this Sunday, but I don't think I actually did now. But I was very close. But it does feel as schooled as I am on AI, it does feel, and I've talked to Jenna Gadusic, who's been here several times talking about AI with me. And every time she talks about it, I'm like, it's like, all of a sudden it's like, blah, blah, it's like on Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. Like, I don't get it. And maybe that's because there's people like you and I don't need to get it. And you can just hire you to do it for me. So
yeah. And that another thing too, I just want to say, a lot of what we said could sound very confusing to the audience, but I think really just taking the first step, if you haven't started with AI, and just hopping on one of the big three large language models, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and just start building a simple 10-minute a day habit with it. I think Keenan, you have a good question where you say, tell me, you ask an AI model, how can I learn AI? And I think that's just the best starting point. And I think from there, with time and consistency, the very ambiguous AI will just become very intuitive to you and you'll be able to understand it. So that's what I urge everyone. If they were to take anything away from this conversation, just get started with it, and you'll snowball from there.
I love it. No, it's true. Everything I do know on AI, it didn't do it in the beginning, but I finally realized that very simple thing. Why am I trying to figure out? Why don't you tell me how to do it? And I'm like, this is what I want to do. How do I do it? And I'm like, okay, back it up. Step one.
Yeah, exactly.
But it works if you do. And when I do that with AI, I just have two screens open. The screen telling me what to do, and then the AI screen where I'm doing it, building the project or building the product knowledge or whatever, because then I can go back and forth and keep checking it. But anyway, thank you guys so much. It was so fun to get to know you. I think you are well needed in our industry here. And, if the designers want to make an appointment with you, talk more about it, you can share some of the ideas, like I said, of the ways that maybe we didn't think of. And of course, they can say to you their burning problem, and you can maybe figure out a way to flesh it out and solve it for them. So thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks Luann.
Alrighty, so here's what stood out to me in this particular conversation. Of course, Zach and Keenan are not talking about AI replacing you, right? That's for sure. But AI is here to replace unnecessary operational handling. And that is a very different thing. And that's a cool thing, right? Because if you think about your day, how much of it is actually spent moving information from one place to another? You answer an email and then you update ClickUp. You leave a site visit and then enter billable hours later. You search through old emails trying to confirm the latest revision. You copy notes from one system into another system. You try to remember whether the final instruction was under install, was install under crown or install above crown, right? And meanwhile, every one of those little tasks creates an opportunity for delay, confusion, missed information, and wrong information brought from one platform or one place to another, right? And that is pretty cool. When you think about being able to correct that, okay, that's the part of the conversation that interests me. The AI itself is secondary, right? It's fixing this operational problem. So if you're still the human manually connecting all the dots inside your business, by the way, that's me a lot in my business too, we become the bottleneck, not because we're doing something wrong, but because there are only so many hours in a day and only so much mental bandwidth available to each of us. And that's why some of the examples that they mentioned were very powerful. The invoice example, the ability to capture billable hours immediately after a site visit, like on the car ride back, instead of trying to recreate your day at the end of the day when your brain wants to be off, wants to be with your kids, your partner, going to yoga, right? This protects you, your time, your mental energy, and your revenue, because you're more likely to report it accurately if you do it immediately after and not 6 hours after or 6 days later, right? Then the project communication example, being able to instantly search every revision, every email, every update connected to a project instead of digging through inboxes and hoping you didn't miss something. I know that pain, my friends, from my window treatment days. Literally drive you to drink, okay? And when you can do it efficiently with the help of AI, it's definitely going to increase your accuracy. And then the purchase order example might have been the biggest one, right? Because if AI can help verify information before a mistake gets sent out to the world, that's not just saving time, that's protecting your profitability, protecting your client trust, and again, reducing that operational chaos. Now, I 1000% appreciated that both Zach and Keenan kept emphasizing human in the loop, right? Because I'm with you, right? I'm not interested in AI automatically sending client emails without oversight. No, hard no, not happening. But drafting the email for me? I don't know. I'm willing to try that. Organizing the information for me? Yep, I'm willing to try that. Pulling the correct details for me? Yes, I'm willing to try that too. Helping eliminate repetitive administrative tasks? Yes, ma'am. I'm willing to try that too. And that's when it all starts to become very interesting. The thing about this conversation is, it's really, what is it at its core? It's about systems. And you know how I feel about systems. Systems, while they may be the bane of our existence and trying to document them, create them, document them, and work through them, they ultimately always create freedom. They always reduce mistakes, and they give you the ability to scale if it's what you want to do. And even when you don't want to scale, it helps you protect your profitability to have documented systems. So what AI may finally allow us to do is reduce the amount of human labor required to document and maintain those systems. That's a heck high five from the back for me, please, right? Like anything we can do to make that easier, right? This is the shift. It's not replacing our leadership and our thought ship, right? Is that a word? It's not replacing our creativity. It's not replacing our decision-making ability. It's just reducing that operational drag. So I think the question after this episode becomes, where are you still acting as the manual connector inside your business? Or where is one of your employees acting as the manual connector? Everything has to go through that employee. Where are you repeatedly touching information that probably doesn't require your brain power to move from one place to another? In other words, there's no analytical skills that have to be applied to it when you take it from one location to another. It just has to go from one location to another, from email to Dropbox, from Dropbox to ClickUp, whatever it is. Because if you can find those touch points and those things, that's where Zach and Keenan can help you. They will give them a call, have a consultation with him. They will sit down, understand the pain point that you are experiencing, even if it's just one tiny pain point, like that designer who wanted to be able to have her invoices ready by the time she got to the office. It doesn't have to be this big thing. It could be the one thing that just, tortures you every darn week to do. And these guys are great. They're very intuitive. They've been working in the design industry, and they've got mostly what they have a handle on is the pathway, the system pathway. You tell them what's broken, what's not flowing, what's not easy, and they'll figure out a way to solve it for you. I promise. So if you're interested, reach out to them. Their website and their contact information is all in the show notes. Okay. And thank you, Zach and Keenan, for being here. I feel so lucky to have met you guys. I'm sure this is going to be one of first of many conversations between us. And thank you for listening. I appreciate that you do decide to be excellent. Thank you for joining me today. This podcast is a production of Luann Nigara, Inc. If you want to know more about me, my books, or Luann University, go to luannnigara.com. And if you are interested in having WindowWorks help you with your next window treatment or awning project in the New York, New Jersey metro area, go to windowworksnj.com to learn more. Have an excellent day.